Guys, it's time for your daily dose of coffee. So grab your favorite cup and get ready to learn a few art tips while you sip. In today's session, we are going to be talking about applying technique to projects. If you think back to session 2, we talked a little bit about how artists take their sketch and they move that sketch into a piece of artwork. And we were talking about a rodeo art project for 2nd grade. We're going to reference that same exact project, and I'm going to talk to you guys about how you can apply technique from a mini lesson to a project. So we know that time is always an issue, and you may be wondering, okay, well, how am I going to fit in a technique mini lesson? And when am I going to do it? How often am I going to do it? Well, to answer that question, I don't do a technique mini lesson every single class period. It depends on a couple of things. It depends on what project we're doing. It also depends on if this is a new art medium that my artists are working with. It also depends on if I'm introducing a new technique to use an art medium that they've already used. It also depends on their knowledge level, because some of my 3rd and 4th graders who have been there or have had art for a few years, they are kind of a little bit more advanced with certain techniques versus my 1st graders. So I may do more technique lessons in my lower grades. But basically, the materials that I use anytime I do a technique mini lesson, it's going to be cardstock, mainly because it's durable and it takes to a lot of different art mediums. And then I also use glue, so they can glue that cardstock inside of their sketchbook. And then depending on if it's a lesson that's not messy, they need a drawing board because we'll do it on the carpet. But today's technique mini lesson I'm going to talk about, they did at their tables because they were painting. And I did not want a mess on the carpet, so they stayed at their tables. So what I had them do was, we were talking about creating tints. So I gave a quick little 30-minute synopsis of what a tint was. I had just a slide on the screen. We talked about tints before they went to their seats from the carpet. So basically what they did was they took a piece of cardstock, and we talked about how you can take a hue or a color, and when you add white to it, you create different tints. And the more white you add to it, the lighter the tint will be. So I had them kind of practice creating a tint in their sketchbook. After they created their tint in their sketchbook, they put this to the side. Now, I had them go ahead and glue this into their sketchbook before they painted on it. That way, when it was done, I didn't have to worry about them trying to glue a piece of wet cardstock into their sketchbook. Couple of other things. You could have them just write their name on the back of the cardstock, and maybe you put it on the drying rack if it's something that's not going to dry. But since we were using tempera paint and they didn't put a lot on their brush, this dried pretty quickly. So after they created their tint, they kept this out on their tables. Then it was time for them to apply that technique to their rodeo art project. So once again, I gathered them back on the carpet because remember, it's important to kind of break up your class time, give them a little time at their tables, give them some time on the carpet so they can get up and get moving. I brought them back to the carpet and I showed them how this tint mini lesson correlated directly to the project that we were getting ready to do. So this is an example. As you can see, this artist took their tints and they applied different tints of pink to their pig. So after they're able to do that, you can also have your artist keep that out. Let's say next class period, they don't finish, which they didn't finish that in one class period. They can have it out as a reference that they can use in another class period, and they can pick right up where they left off. So the artists, they keep their sketchbooks out. 1, it gives them a reminder of what they should be working on. And 2, you can do a quick informal assessment. Like, hey Maria, I see that, you're painting your pig, but don't forget, look in your sketchbook to make sure you're applying different tints throughout your pig. So I hope you guys enjoyed your daily dose of coffee today and are ready to try out today's session in your studio. Make sure you check back next month for more art tips while you sip. Have a great day.